So we're talking about one of St. John's favorite things today, food. And I thought we would start off by reflecting on a question we've reflected on before together. What is, some folks here, what's your favorite meal?
Pizza.
Pizza. What else? What else is a favorite meal? Rachel? Mom's homemade lasagna. That sounds worthwhile. How about you ladies? Something different? Hot dogs? And you, Sarah? Hot dogs too? I guess that fits. Both for hot dogs. Honey? Meatloaf. I used to really love meatloaf. It's harder to eat when you're really great. Gotta make it a special way. Karen?
Okay, I got it. You gotta have roast beef, mashed potatoes, gravy, and a side order of hot lettuce with bacon dressing.
Wow! So roast beef, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and then a side order of hot lettuce?
With bacon dressing.
With bacon dressing. That has got to be like a special kind of food. Is that a family thing?
It's our family thing.
That's the high cholesterol diet.
I think Alma, I think last time I was with Alma, she was talking to me, Alma Slaughter, one of our oldest members here, not the oldest member, was talking to me about some kind of lettuce dish. I think it might have been what you were talking about. Anybody else? You like all the food. You're like me, Izzy. Chicken nuggets. Do you like chicken nuggets, Izzy? And French fries. That's what you gotta have it with, right? Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel when somebody makes you a meal that's very special to you? Or buys it, if it's something from a restaurant? Loved. Yeah. Food has that ability, doesn't it? To make us feel loved. What are some other ways that you have felt loved, other than somebody making your favorite meal, at the table? Maybe at your home or in the community, when you're having a meal with other folks. What are some other examples of ways that you've been loved that way?
Just being with them, giving them a hug and talking to them and having that interaction that we care about each other and support each other.
Yeah, so the fellowship kind of at the meal and the company and being together, definitely, that helps us to feel loved. Anybody have a specific example? The time when they felt loved at a meal?
We have sister night.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters, prepare something. Some of them don't prefer free. We don't admit
It's getting bitter over here. Yeah, so when we eat, absolutely, when we eat, it's one of our strongest, the smell and the taste, one of our strongest memory senses. When you eat something, you'll be drawn back all the way to your childhood and when you first had that and the circumstances, right? So Sue's talking about when our sisters get together and they have a kind of a potluck, it sounds like, and that brings them back to when they were young together and the love that they had for each other. Rosie, you had a story for me one time about your mother and how she fed people.
There was always something.
Always something cooking.
And actually, then probably that.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs, that was your favorite thing today.
And you said that she would always have something ready in case there were guests. Yeah. So surprise guests, there was always food for them. And dessert. Can't skip that. Absolutely. So it's a way of hospitality, of welcoming people into your home, having food ready for them. Absolutely. I had an experience this past week where I felt particularly loved at the table around a meal. This past week I was at a conference, the last of 3 different conferences that was part of a larger program that I was accepted into for young clergy under the age of 35. And this conference was meant to build leadership skills and expose people to very innovative ministry settings and congregations across the country. And it was a wonderful experience. I got to meet people from all different kinds of denominations, different kinds of Christians, and people from all over the country. The only challenge was my dietary restrictions. I had to pretty much bring all of my food with me, or I wasn't going to have anything to eat. And in the evenings, we would go out to a restaurant together. And for the other two conferences, we managed to find a restaurant that had some gluten-free options. But this time we were in Kansas City, and the restaurant that they had picked that could host our group, which was pretty large, didn't have any gluten-free options. So I was going to go to a separate restaurant. And one of my colleagues, she told me, she's like, I'll go with you, so that I wouldn't be by myself at this restaurant in Kansas City. And that, to me, was a huge gesture of love. These are people I've met 2 times before. We got to know each other a little bit. We didn't know each other very well. But she saw that it was important that I didn't eat alone. Again, coming back to what Marie had to say, how we fellowship with one another at the table. So this was a gesture of love that I received from this person on this retreat. We as St. John's are really good at loving people with food, aren't we? We are. You can own this. This is one of your talents. We do a lot of stuff, a lot of ministries that helps feed people and helps them to know that they're loved. What are some of the things that we do that feed people, or that we've done in the past? Loaves of Fishes dinner, right, in the fall. We put together, people make food for it, and other people come and serve it. And it's just a community dinner open to all people in this area, in the Quakertown area. And especially for folks who are hungry or don't have enough to eat. What else do we do that feeds? Yeah, we collect food. The first Sunday of the month that goes to that elementary school with the impossible name. POP, yes. For children who don't have enough to eat over the weekend, so they get a backpack that's full of food that they can take home with them, and so they can have food to eat over the weekend. Because during the week they have sponsored lunches. What else do we do? The food pantry, right. St. John's is dedicated to collecting food for the food pantry. Right here it is. This must be stuff for POP, because we got the school, because we're the first Sunday this week, but all the time we're collecting food. It's overflowing, an abundance, you might say, of food. Absolutely. What else do we do?
Spaghetti dinner for the firemen.
Right, very recently we had a dinner for the fire company to show them that we appreciated them. We made spaghetti, and the Webbs were really involved in helping us cook that dinner. They're not here today, but I want to give them thanks for their help with that, and all of the other folks who made that possible. What else?
Crop walk.
The crop walk. Tell me about the crop walk, Liz.
The crop walk is we all meet and sign up, and you get people to sponsor you with money, and you bring a canned food item, and then you walk and collect donations for, I guess it's worldwide or anything.
Yeah, the crop walk. I think they do stuff nationally too, here in the United States, but they're definitely focused on global hunger, the crop walk. Yep, absolutely. Something else that we do.
Quakertown outreach.
Quakertown Community Outreach. They do provide some food for folks. They mostly work with people who are suffering from homelessness, but they also provide other stuff to people in the community. And we support their work. Absolutely, Jamie. Our fellowship hour. Yes, after worship, snacks, right? And there's that being together, right? Showing each other our love, having conversation. Absolutely.
We paid for shut-ins around Christmas time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We make cookies and we'll package them up and send them out to the folks who are homebound in our congregation. Yep, absolutely. And we send them in person, right? So it's not just the cookies, but the visit as well. Absolutely. St. John's, you haven't mentioned it yet, I'm surprised. There's a history here of doing meals. Who knows about this history? I know some of you do. It was like a fall dinner and a something else dinner, right?
Loving meals,
Roast beef dinner. Look. Yeah. Jill knows. Maybe they were the same. I know there was something with roast beef, right? Yeah. And this was for the whole community, correct? Yep. All of St. John's would get together to cook this big meal at the activity center, and they would host the whole community to come and eat. Absolutely. It's in our blood, in our DNA here at St. John's to feed people. It's important, right? It's also necessary. It's so easy to take for granted. the food that we have, especially if we've never been food insecure during our life. But we need it to survive. Here's the thing though, it's not only our bodies that get hungry, it's our hearts and our minds that get hungry too, right? What ways do our hearts and minds get hungry? What's your heart and mind hungry for? Maybe it's companionship. Maybe hope. Love, meaning. Our souls get hungry. They need to be fed too. And that's what Jesus does for us at the table, with the bread and the wine. And today in the story, with the fish and the bread. Jesus not only feeds our bodies, Jesus feeds our hearts and minds, his very body. His body and his blood, the bread and the wine. God shows us love through this. Love that brings us together, binds us into a community, a family, the body of Christ. Love that strengthens us so that we can go out into the world to serve, to follow God's call. And love that renews us, gives us a fresh start, lightens our hearts, shows us forgiveness, mercy. This kind of feeding is important too. There's a company called Penzi Spices. Has anybody ever heard of it? Nobody. All right, well, you're going to find out today. So Penzi Spices is a company that, as it sounds like, they provide quality spices for cooking, right? And they really emphasize that their spices are fresh and they're obtained in a way that's good for our environment and good for the people who harvest them. And their mission as a company is not just to provide quality spices, but to help people, inspire people to cook and feed one another. And so whenever you order some spices from them, they're a mail order company. They do have some brick and mortar stores, one in Conshohocken, I think, right outside the city. But mostly that you order online. They send you, with your order, bumper stickers, or magnets, or regular stickers. But these are bumper stickers. And there's a couple different ones they send, but this is one. What does that say there? It says, love people, cook them tasty food. Right? Show your love by cooking for someone. And then here's another one, which is a little broader. What's this say, Troy? Put your glasses on. Go for it. Heal the world, cook dinner tonight. This matters, right? When we feed one another, we're not just filling each other's bellies, we're filling up people's hearts, right? We're feeding their soul as well. And this is what Jesus calls us to, just like he calls Peter in today's reading. Feed my lambs, feed my sheep, care for my people, right? And we feed people not just their physical hunger, which might be caused by injustice because they don't have enough money to buy food, but also the hunger of their souls, their spiritual hunger, caused by all number of things, right? Anxiety, depression, loneliness, all of those things that can cause us to be spiritually hungry. And so Jesus' call to us is just as it was to Peter. Do you love me more than anything else? If so, feed my sheep. Amen.